This is the most controllable and trail-focused sport utility side-by-side on the market right now. Of course, we're talking about the brand new 2021 Yamaha Wolverine RMAX 1000. We've already done a deep dive on the features and specs of the new RMAX, so today we're going to talk about how it actually drives. The unique feature on the RMAX is the D-mode variable throttle system from Yamaha. It's been derived from their sport bikes, and it really transforms the off-road riding experience for this machine and makes it unique compared to anything else on the market. The D-mode system allows the driver to change throttle mapping on the fly between three distinct modes. You have crawl, trail, and sport. And what was really surprising while driving this is the unique characteristic of each mode that is truly noticeable and changes the characteristic of the engine as well as the handling response of the vehicle based on how you're driving. Starting with trail, this is your normal throttle mode. Any side-by-side that you've driven, this is going to be very similar to that. You have pretty strong throttle lead-in, but it's not as crisp as when you switch it into sport. Sport makes it actually feel like the engine has more power and the throttle is actually leading you. So when you're on and off the throttle, braking in corners and getting back on, it's quicker to respond. Crawl is on the extreme other end of that. It actually feels like the engine is detuned, but you still have the full 108 horsepower. It just softens the throttle response. So when you're pulling out on a hill, crawling over stuff, it just makes it a lot more controllable, especially for very delicate maneuvers. What's not new on the RMAX is Yamaha's Ultramatic Transmission. This is arguably the industry's best CVT transmission. It gives you a 10-year belt life. You'd never have to really worry about belt slippage. You have engine braking at all speeds, and when you're in four-wheel drive, you have engine braking to all four wheels. This system, although not new, has been refined for the additional output from this engine and really just completes the package. To round out the powertrain on the RMAX, of course, we're going to be talking about Yamaha's brand new 1000cc twin. Power delivery is very smooth on this model with very low vibrations, and it's relatively quiet when compared to other models in this segment. You've got a lot of low-end grunt, but there's still plenty of top-end pull. So whether you're operating at low speed or high speed, there's plenty of power to be had. The RMAX provides unmatched, confidence-inspiring handling thanks to class-leading suspension travel and ground clearance and these Fox 2.0 QS3 shocks. The package is tuned just right from Yamaha to give you a plush, comfortable ride at low speeds while still staying planted and predictable at higher speeds. Talking about the shock, you have three compression settings via Fox's quick shift system. You have soft, medium, and hard at all four corners with the twist knob at the top of the shock. My preferred setting is running medium up front and soft in the rear. That provides awesome bump absorption up front and very good anti-bottoming while still staying pretty compliant and comfortable. In the rear, running full soft allows it to stop from bucking when you're going over short, high-speed bumps. And on the ground clearance, I was truly surprised at how many times we didn't bottom out while riding this. There are a couple things we came up to that I thought the front bash plate was going to catch and it didn't, as well as breakover, coming over rocks and logs or pressing over a steep hill. This thing didn't bottom out, and if it did, you have a full metal skid plate from the factory that glides right across. The last thing we're going to talk about are a few small items that add up to a truly superior off-roading experience when you're talking about the RMAX. Inside the cabin, you definitely have an upmarket feel with better fit and finish and trim than most models in the segment. Starting at the shifter, you definitely have a very positive feel thanks to a nice strong spring, and you also have a gated shifter, so it's easy to know when you're coming in and out of a gear as well as making sure you're going into the gear you want to select. The handbrake is nice and chunky and very short throw, so it is easier to set and release your parking brake. Along the dash, you have blue ambient lighting on your XTR and premium models. This will definitely help out at night. It gives you just enough light to be able to see around the cabin without blinding yourself. Looking at the switchgear, Yamaha's gone with very chunky rotary style knobs. These are much easier to use with your gloves on compared to a rocker switch, and they also have very strong detents so you know which position you're putting the switch into. Something in the cab that is geared for all-day comfort are the knee pads that are located for both the driver and passenger. You have one for both left and right, and this just helps. Anybody who's a little bit taller or likes to plant their foot on the dead pedal knows that you end up with bruises on your knees from the door. These rubber pads have a nice soft feel, and they're definitely going to save you after a long day's ride. Yamaha did redesign the seats for the RMAX, so you do have a little bit deeper bolstering as well as a new premium feel to them. I can say that they are comfortable and they definitely hold you in place. As we're getting out, we're looking at the brand new doors. For the RMAX, they're a much larger door that comes up higher, as well as gives you a larger opening to get in and out, and they're heavier due to a new steel core. This gives them a nice heavy feel and a nice positive engagement when you shut the door. Overall, the all-new Yamaha Wolverine RMAX 1000 has surpassed our expectations in every aspect. From the usable power and torque to the D-mode variable throttle system to the impressive suspension, the RMAX covers all the bases as the new leader in the sport utility side-by-side segment. This has been Ernie with Miller's Motorsports. Thank you for watching.